So let's talk about VHS 99, and this is the title you're reading in the Explained. So, of course, you know VHS is an anthology, found footage film, and basically we're going to cover all of them. So, that's how we're going to do it. We're going to go one by one through each of the shorts here and just talk about the short itself, spoilers, all of that, and then talk about the ending and my thoughts on it. I did this with 94 last year, and I think this is the best format to do it. Overall, I don't feel like this had like a whole ending, like overall story to it compared to 94, but we'll get to that in a bit. So before we get any further into the ending explain, hit that subscribe button. We are running a giveaway. You have to be subscribed to enter. It's going to be like movie posters, things like that, so you don't want to miss out on it. So make sure you're subscribed, and you got to comment down below that you want to enter the giveaway. And also make sure you hit that notification bell and share this video if you want. I really appreciate it. But let's get into VHS 99. The giveaway will run until October 29th, and October 31st on Halloween day we will have a live and we will announce the winner, so don't miss out on that by hitting that notification bell. But let's talk about VHS 99, and the first short is Shredding, which basically follows this like punk band of sorts that's sort of like a Jackass style, like videotaping and just doing whatever they want to do and just trying to get sort of noticed of sorts by doing these tapes and all of that. And they eventually come up with the idea like, hey, I know how we can get noticed really well if we go down to this venue that basically burned down, and one night the band was playing Bitch Cat and they pretty much got stampeded on when people were trying to get out of the venue after the fire had started. One of the band members' friends is like, I don't think that's such a good idea. We shouldn't desecrate like the dead and all of that. And it's sort of disrespectful to what happened there. The other ones are just like, you're coming, we don't give a damn about you. And they're kind of mean to this guy a little bit. I was kind of feeling for him at points when they were calling him names and all of this. And so we eventually see them go to the venue, and they're very much so rude. They're very much so disrespectful and have no sense of manners at all. And so then we see out of nowhere that these bodies start to reanimate of Bitch Cat, the band members and all of that. And they're like these zombie-esque looking characters now because, of course, they were in the fire, the stampede, they're dead. Zombies, yeah, you get it, that's how they look. And so we see that they start to pretty much go after this punk rock band that was desecrating all over their graves and all of that, and eventually they pretty much kill them, and that's pretty much how it ends right there. And I thought that it was an interesting short. I really did enjoy it. I liked the way that the Bitch Cat band looked. I liked the music as well, and I really liked the scares as well, because they really felt like a waiting for that moment. You know, you're watching it and you know it's a VHS movie, you know it's a horror movie, you know something's about to pop off, and you're just there waiting and anticipating. I really did enjoy that. And then when we finally got the reveal, I thought the reveal was pretty cool. So definitely a movie talking, I think, about sort of like disrespecting the past and sort of having no manners of sorts, and also at the same time also how people do things for the internet, for clout and all of that, and don't really think about the consequences that come with it. And sort of this is meeting your consequences that come with it right here for this group of like teenagers or whatever. So I thought it was a really good short in that aspect. But let's get on to the next short. So the next short is Suicide Bid, and basically follows a young woman going to college, and she's going to join the sorority. And so one of the ways to join the sorority is to do this hazing where you get buried alive and can't ring a bell to get out. If you do, before that you have to open a box, and then you also have this challenge of not letting in the past like girl that was like an urban legend. Apparently she got buried alive or whatever, and then they went to go find her and open the coffin, and then she wasn't there. So it's this legend that's been passed upon them. And so they say if you hear knocking on the coffin while you're in there, do not answer it, because it is the girl and she's gonna basically take you. So we see the group of girls who are doing the hazing. They're sort of torturing the girl by knocking, scaring her, and then when the girl opens the box that they gave her, it has like spiders and all of this. So just mean girls in general. We then start to see it starts to rain and starts picking up, and of course the girl's still in the coffin, and she is in this like burial site in this grave. So the mud starts to kind of slip, and you're just there tell me they're gonna get her out. But no, they start to run away when they see somebody coming, and then they just leave the girl here, who eventually sees the dead girl that was there in like a zombie ghost form of sorts, and then it all just like completely goes silent. The girls come back after some time. They open the coffin and she's not there anymore, and they're just like, okay, I guess she's gone. We had nothing to do with this. Everybody swears to not say anything. They go about their ways, and then we eventually see the next day that they are now in coffins each, and it turns out that the girl that they had hazed had made a pact with the demon girl, zombie girl, whatever you want to call her, that she will help her get more girls into her sorority of dead girls, and these are the girls they're going to start off with. So I think it was definitely a sort of revenge of sorts that we saw the girl get, and I think it very much so highlights the pressure of sororities, fraternities, all of that, and how hazing is such a dangerous thing that we still see happen today. It's definitely something that I think needs to be more on top of everything that happens, because you always hear about these accidents and everything that happens with these hazing rituals, and I definitely think that this short tried to go into all of that, and I definitely think it is an important topic to be discussed. But also I think it very much so is a short about pressure in today's society to try and fit in, and the lengths that people go to do it, and it's crazy. But let's get into the next short. The next one is Ozzy's Dungeon, which sort of follows a Legends of the Hidden Temple type-esque game show, where we see this young girl and her family. They've taken her, and you get a wish if you win this game show, whatever. We eventually see that the girl ends up breaking her leg while she's trying to do all of this, so she does not win. And then we cut to some time later when the family has now taken hostage the game show host, because they were mad about what happened to the girl and she wasn't able to get her wish and all of this. And so they are now torturing this game show host by making him reenact some of the stunts and everything and games that they played on this, but a little bit more on the dangerous side. There's feces, there's like acid, all of this, and they say if he doesn't end up beating the game, they will inject him with acid, pretty much burning him alive inside. He eventually is able to go through all of the obstacle courses, but he doesn't beat them, and now he is going to be injected with acid. But he's like, hold on, I got something for you. If you let me go, I can take you to go get your wish that you wanted so bad back then. And so we see the family is interested, and they're like, okay, go on. How do we do all of this? And he's like, all right, just follow me. We got it. It's going to be okay. He takes them to the set, and we start seeing some people run out of this set of sorts, and there's like something mysterious going on here as well. And then we eventually see that there is this big like blob of sorts of thing on the table. And so we see this like creature come out of the blob of sorts, and the girl is now able to do her wish, and she wishes. We don't hear what it is, but then we see everybody's face melt off, even her family's except hers, and we just see her grinning at the camera. So I think this one was definitely trying to sort of pay homage to those game shows from the 90s where you went through obstacle courses and all of that. But at the same time, I think the story definitely really followed how family can pressure you to do things sometimes as well. It seemed like the girl didn't even want to be in the game show at the beginning, and she was just sort of doing it for her family and for them to get the wish, which for her to become a movie star, which I think is pretty much for them to get money as well. And I think it sort of is that the girl was trying to be set free from her family, as they were very condescending towards her now that she was in a wheelchair and all of that. So I think she was definitely just trying to be free from it all, but it sort of like was manipulated as well by this evil creature of sorts, where she saw this is the only way out, and eventually she said, I'm cool with their faces being melted off, what can I say? So I think it was an interesting short in that aspect, and definitely one of the grosser ones in the whole series. But let's talk about the next one, which was the overall short for all of them, and in my opinion the weakest. I definitely was not a fan of this one. The Gawkers. So this one basically dealt with a group of teenage boys who were spying on their neighbor, and eventually they get one of them to install some spyware into her computer so they can spy on her. She's changing all of this. This eventually does not turn out the way they thought. The night that this is starting to happen, she starts undressing and stuff like that, but then out of nowhere we see that she is a sort of Medusa Gorgon of sorts, and then she knows that they're watching her, so she just like zips through to their home, and she basically just turns all of them into stone and kills them, and that's pretty much how we end that one. And let's move on to the last one, which was my favorite, from the directors and writers of Deadstream, Joseph and Vanessa Winter. So in this one we see a duo of videographers get hired by this coven to sort of make a video of them summoning this demon. And so they start doing this, and it's kind of like a comedy horror of sorts, which I did enjoy a lot about that. And so they are recording, and then out of nowhere we start seeing this little demon just like zipping through, and I'm gonna tell you, I jumped. I had a chill down my spine when I saw it for the first time, because that thing was very, very creepy. But I loved every aspect of this short, because then we see them go to hell accidentally when they coven of witches is like, oh no, that demon should not be out here, let's head them back to hell. But the demon kind of like grabs onto them, so it takes them with them, and then we see them in hell now trying to survive. We see this demon called Mabel, who is sort of guiding them of sorts throughout, and she's pretty much like, I'm coming with y'all just gotta put my name in the book and all of this when you go back, so that they will remember me. And so we see them go through all of these different treacherous paths, as well as meeting these like weird creatures that were very creepy and eerie. And then we eventually see them get to the end where they're gonna summon this demon. Now the witches, they found the demon that the witches want to summon, so the plan is we're gonna latch onto this demon when it gets summoned and go back to the other realm. And so they go through all of this. They're eventually caught up with some of these like larger demons of sorts that are looking very brute, and it's just like, how do we pass these? Eventually they're able to do this as well, and then one of the friends is like, hey, let's bring Mabel with us, come on Mabel. But by the time they can say that, Mabel gets killed, and so they're just like, okay, abort mission, let's just go with the demon. And they eventually go back to their realm. But what we see happen is that the friend actually ends up possessing the woman that they wanted to possess the demon with. And so it just turns hilarious, because then the witches and everybody involved is like, we can't trust them, they just came from hell, let's kill them. So they kill him. Before one of them dies, he's able to write the name of Mabel in there. But then we hear the witches summon Mabel, as well as, I guess they read it in the book, so we can definitely expect Mabel to return at some point. But I thought this one was brilliant. I really was laughing throughout, and it was just one of the best ones in my opinion. The cinematography, the effects, the humor, the comedy, the writing, all of it was so good, and I really do hope to see more of Mabel in the future. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on VHS 99 and all of these shorts. I just gave you my spoiler rundown of them all and my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. But as always, that's going to do it for me. If you haven't already, check out our other videos we did today. We already did a video on a found footage top 5 for me, as well as Wendell and Wild review, so go check those out right now. Make sure you're subscribed. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and we are running a giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed, and all you have to do is comment you're wanting to enter the giveaway, or just comment whatever in the comments below. But anyways, hit that notification bell, and I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe, stay positive.